The walls I built. I didn't always know how to let people stay. Somewhere along the way, I learned that distance felt safer than hope. That silence hurt less than disappointment. That if I didn't expect anything, I couldn't lose anything. So I built walls. Not the obvious kind, the quiet kind. I smiled when I needed to, answered when it was polite, and slowly pulled away from everything that required effort. People noticed, they always do, but eventually they stopped trying. And I told myself I preferred it that way. One who didn't get the message. He didn't understand my rules. When I sat alone, he came closer. When I turned away, he stayed. When I needed space, he simply adjusted, never leaving. I tried ignoring him at first. Tried acting busy. Tried pretending I needed nothing. But he kept choosing me. Not loudly, not desperately, just consistently. And that consistency did something uncomfortable. It made me feel seen. Pushing away again. Old habits don't disappear quietly. On the days when my patience was thin, I pulled back. I stopped petting him, stopped talking. I expected him to learn, to back off, to leave, but he didn't. He just lay nearby, not touching, not watching, present. As if he understood something I didn't yet. That people push away the things they're afraid to lose. When silence speaks louder, there's a special kind of loneliness that comes from being surrounded, yet unreachable. I felt it often, and every time he noticed before I did, he would place his head near my knee, not asking, not insisting, just offering. I realized then, he wasn't waiting for permission. He was waiting for readiness. The night everything cracked. There was a night when the weight became too much. The kind of night where thoughts get loud, where memories feel closer than reality. I sat on the floor, arms wrapped around myself, breathing shallow. And he came. He didn't hesitate. He pressed against me, firm and warm, grounding me in the present. And for the first time in a long while, I didn't pull away. I cried, not quietly, not neatly, and he stayed, not fixing, not fleeing, staying. What he taught me about love. Love isn't about perfection. is about tolerance. Tolerance for moods, for silence, for change. He loved me on days I didn't like myself, on days I had nothing to give, on days I didn't even acknowledge him. And that kind of love changes you slowly. It softens the sharp edges. It opens doors you forgot were closed. Learning to let someone in. I started talking to him more, not because he needed it, because I did. I told him things I never said out loud, things that felt too heavy to share with anyone else. And he listened, not with advice, not with judgment, with presence. I began to realize connection doesn't require understanding, only willingness. The difference between alone and lonely. Being alone isn't the same as being lonely. I had been alone for years, but I was lonely. He didn't erase that overnight, but he changed its shape. Loneliness became quieter, less sharp, more manageable, and eventually, it loosened its grip. Something unexpected happened. As I softened, so did my world. I replied more, stayed longer, let conversations breathe. People returned, not all of them, but enough. And I realized something quietly profound. He didn't replace people. He reminded me how to let them in. Every morning he chose me, and slowly I learned to choose back. The peace of being known. There's peace in being fully seen, in not performing, not explaining, not defending. With him, I didn't have to be strong. I just had to be present, and that was enough. What remains? Life still brings difficult days. That never changes. But now, when the world feels heavy, I don't retreat. I sit beside him and remember, sometimes the ones who heal us aren't the ones who say the right words. They're the ones who stay, even when we try to push them away. If this story felt familiar, if you've ever built walls instead of doors, if you've ever needed space but also connection, you're not alone here. This is Healing Pause Stories, where love is patient, loyalty is quiet, and healing happens one moment at a time.